Next tour going out will be my Central Kalahari tour that came over from 2020, also a private trip that I'm doing. So after that, I'm doing Serengeti. My guys are ready. Everything is done. We're basically just waiting for the date to arrive. So what I want to quickly add to you is which tours are available coming up. My Botswana tours, 11 and 19 July, is still available. I have 1 or 2 spots on both of them. You can have a look at it on the website. It's the same tour, just 2 different dates. 9,700 per person for 8 nights. We're doing the Moremi, Kubu Island, Jobi. We're passing through Savuti. So a very nice Botswana tour, getting out there and just doing our thing. So I do still have space on those available. If you are interested, let me know. Otherwise, if it's full, it's full and I can't help you with that. So those are the 2 tours that are still going out. I've also had good inquiries on Lesotho, the luxury tour, where we sleep in lodges and we eat in the lodge restaurants. You don't need to take any food, you don't need to take any camping stuff. It's in the lodges. 7,900 per person for 4 nights inside of Lesotho. So we don't sleep outside of Lesotho and travel in every day. We sleep inside Lesotho and we enjoy what Lesotho has to offer. Middle of the winter, we expect some snow. I already have probably 5 vehicles, so maybe space for 1 or 2 more if you want to. So let me know if you are interested in Lesotho. Otherwise, Kgalagadi Double the Fun for the end of the year is fully booked. I'm doing another trip next year. It will be on the website shortly. So yeah, let me know if there's anything else. While on the subject, my 2022 calendar is going to look fairly empty. And part of the reason is that I need to see which tours this year needs to move to next year first. So I'm going to fill the 22 calendar slowly as I progress through the year, so that I know that a trip will be a new trip and it will be available. If I need to shift anything, that I do have my gaps available. Otherwise, I'm just going to fall behind the schedule too much. So if you are interested in 2022 tours, if you see it on the website, you know it's going and you can start booking for it. But if you don't see it on the website yet, it's going to look very much the same as my normal calendar year. I just haven't confirmed it yet. Still, let me know that you are keen on Botswana in 2022 and I'll put you on the list, and as soon as it comes up, then I'll let you know and you can make that booking. So let's have a quick look at my Faces of Namib, or Skeleton Coast tour as I called it. It was an incredible trip itself, and I have to say, for me, because I drive a lot of 4x4 routes and I'm in the bush a lot, for me there's a few things that's really captivating. It's life-changing, you can almost say. And the one is the Serengeti migration. If you experience that, it's very different. 2.5 million wildebeest traveling is something to behold. The other one would be the gorillas and the chimps. A very, very different experience, something that tickles you in your feet, to bring you back to the origins of who we are and where we come from. Then the third thing I really enjoy is the Kasanka bat migration. Not so emotional as the others, but still something to behold. It's the biggest mammal migration in the world, and it's spectacular. And then another one that I just did now was the Namib Desert. Now, the Namib Desert stretches from the northern part of South Africa on the west coast, in the Richtersveld area, all the way up to the border on the Kunene River in Namibia. And we basically did this tour this year in about 3 weeks. So we entered at Fjolsdrift. Because of COVID, we had to get our timing right and all of those things, but we all got in and we started going up. We visited Kolmanskop, the Fish River Canyon, so the Ghost Town in Kolmanskop, Luderitz, then Hug the Dunes on the Namib Nouwkloof National Park, Sossusvlei National Park, and went all the way up to Sesriem. Sesriem, we visited Sossusvlei, and then from Sossusvlei to Swakopmund for a rest day. Then we did the Spitskoppe area, the Brandberg, Twyfelfontein World Heritage Site, up to Palmwag, then the Waterval campsite, and ultimately the last 6 nights we went into the right northern section of the Skeleton Coast. a tour that has been called the Faces of the Namib. It's the same tour. If you've ever heard of the Faces of the Namib, it is the same tour as that one that we did over the 6 days. So we were there in flash flood time, and to have the flash flood period was something to behold. A few times we arrived at rivers that had a bit of a flash flood going, and it was quite incredible to see. When we got to the Ngongo waterfall campsite, we were swimming in the pool the one moment, and then this rush of water came through and the pool got completely packed with rocks, and it was this big flood coming down. So it was quite incredible to see. It was amazing. Everybody had cameras out and was sending the pictures to their loved ones as we went, so quite incredible. Then the Sossusvlei area is always a very nice area, and you get pictures that looks like this, with the Namib Desert, the oldest desert in the world, with some oryx, gemsbokke, springbuck, a few other animals around there. Then the climbing of the dune, always something that is on everybody's agenda, if you can do it and if you can't do it. But climbing of the dune at Sossusvlei, really, if you've done it, it's not a big dune, but it's a spectacular view of Sossusvlei itself. Sossusvlei has water in it at the moment, so that was another unique experience, to see Sossusvlei with water in it. It doesn't happen every year, but it does happen from time to time. Then out to Spitskoppe. Spitskoppe is a very, very pretty place, and yeah, there's a well-known arch where you can take a picture through the arch of the sunrise and the sunset and all of that stuff. But a unique granite intrusion area that is really quite spectacular to visit. That was quite nice. We just went there for lunch. Once we were up at the Skeleton Coast area, we were driving down towards the ocean, and this is more or less the convoy as we snake through the dunes on our way to the coastal area. We do this section with the local concession holder, and yeah, it was a lot of fun, a very nice experience, and something to experience. The Lone Men is still up in the Guguland area, so on our way we found a few of the Lone Men, and everybody's always interested in the Lone Men themselves. Then into the Skeleton Coast Park, no entry area, which is the concession area, and also nice because you are on your own, you are with the concession holders, so there's no one else around there that is interfering with your holiday. The camp itself, this was a bush camp one night where we slept in the dunes. The concession holders erected a windskerm, a wind hide for us, so that we can get away from the wind. Everybody parked behind the dunes as well, and a very nice night in the bush. The camp itself at the Kunene River, we camp behind this massive dune, which gives you a very nice hide from the wind itself, and yeah, quite spectacular to camp there. The night sky, the peace that you have, it's very different. Then on our off day, we were out at the coast, went up to the Kunene River mouth. Some guys did a bit of fishing because we had fish and chips on the menu for the night, and ultimately we were at the Kunene mouth, seeing the turtles and a few bronzies swimming up and down in the Kunene River, which was in flood at the moment. You can see behind there the brown water, but really a very nice experience. And that was just before we ultimately left for the dunes. And yeah, once you go into the dunes, this is the area that I was talking about, where you start experiencing this life-changing event. Just my cruiser for the fun of it in the shot, and this was a sunrise that we had in the morning inside the dune. So you sleep in there, there's no power, there's nothing there, but the nothingness is really what what it is all about. It is just so special to drive through there that yeah, it's something that you have to experience to ultimately understand. And then driving through the dunes is one of those where it's a combination of scary stuff, a combination of hairy stuff, a combination of worry and stress, but combined with ultimate victory in yourself and in your vehicle for getting through there. Just to give you an idea of the specs, we drove, it's about 70 kilometers to get through the dunes. You need someone there to show you what to do, and Eben was the man. He was the local guide that took us through there. And without someone like him that knows the dunes, I can guarantee you, you are gone. The dunes have a way to work you out towards the river and ultimately dump you in a place where you can't get out. So you have to have someone that knows the dunes. Also, a lot of people getting stuck on the first day. We did 30 kilometers, 35 kilometers in about 8 hours. So it's a lot of standing, driving slowly, getting up a dune, doing the next one. So if you want to do this trip in future, there are vehicle limitations on this one. All my other trips, I say 4x4, standard 4x4, you're welcome. On this one, there are limitations. The weight of your vehicle, so campers, I wouldn't take a camper into this area. They are just too heavy and too top heavy. A normal 4x4, the double cabs, the Fortuners, those type of vehicles are all fine. Most people had rooftop tents, but we also had ground tents. So ground tents, rooftop doesn't really make a difference. But campers, for me, you would start getting into territory where you can break your vehicle on this trip. The slip faces that you go down is extremely steep, and it takes nerves of steel to get down. But you know, everybody does it, and all of these drivers are novices. So you know, the guides are there to take you through the whole system. Getting up a dune, if you are too heavy and you don't have you know, if your vehicle is too heavy and your combination of vehicle power and tires are not right, then you are going to struggle a little bit. But with my 4.2, the poorest rated vehicle in the convoy, I still got through the whole system without getting stuck. I got hung up once, but otherwise no issues. So yeah, it's really a great trip to do. It's an experience that you'll never forget, and everybody ultimately will get through this. The guides are there to get you through, but you need a long range on fuel, so about 200 to 250 liters of fuel, depending on if you're a petrol or a diesel. You need to have a vehicle that's mechanically sound, because we are going to the middle of nowhere, so it needs to be in good condition, and not too heavy. No towing, nothing fun. You strip your vehicle down to the basics, make sure that it's as light as possible, because you have to carry a lot of fuel to get through this tour. But once you get through it, it's absolutely a life-changing experience. After our 30 kilometers, we were in the middle of the dunes, and we had a lovely camp right there in the middle of the dunes, in the middle of nowhere. It was, again, as I say, it's very much a life-changing experience. Combine that with all the little sidewinder snakes and the legless geckos and all those type of things that you find there. It's a world on its own, and to experience it was really great. So if you're interested in it, let me know. I put your name on a list, and once we have enough vehicles, we'll set a time, and if you can join on that time, it's great. Otherwise, we'll see if we can reschedule the time. Yeah, it's a tour that, if you have the ability and if you have the means, then it is something that is worth experiencing. My trip next time will be slightly different than this one. I'm going to focus on the Namib and leave the Kolmanskop, the bottom section, and we'll rather spend 2 weeks on the top section, and then exit once we are finished with that, just to slow down the trip a little bit and make sure that everybody has enough time with the desert as they want it. Otherwise, have a great day. I'm on my way to Central Kalahari on Wednesday or Thursday, depending on what time I get away here, and looking forward to another 3 weeks. So if you don't hear from me in the next few weeks, I'm on trip, and I'll be back in early May, just before the Serengeti tour. Have a great day, stay safe, and I'll see you soon on our trip. Cheers.